Okay, Renee is at work and I am going to make greens for her for when she comes home. So there's dinner ready tonight and I will show you how to make greens because you asked about it earlier. So it's easy, it's super healthy, and I'll do it quickly. So keep watching. Okay, first thing you do is assemble your ingredients. I have greens. I buy them like this at Safeway. They're already washed and everything. There's different greens. I'm doing mustard, which is a little bit of a peppery flavor. I actually more of a stronger flavored greens. I think the collard greens are the least strong flavored, but in any case, we like them. I'm doing a double batch. So we got 2 bags of greens. You get smoked andouille sausage, and like Cajun sausage, something along those lines. And I get the chicken one. I think I got this at Safeway, but they also sell it at Trader Joe's, and it's only got 5 grams of fat. Still got a lot of sodium, but that's the nature of it. Much less fat, however, than pork, and only 1 gram of saturated fat. So the better choice. Onion, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of crushed red peppers. This is optional. And I got low sodium chicken broth. There is, I think, sodium free or something at Trader Joe's if you can find it, but usually I have to go with the low sodium one, which is fat free and has 70 milligrams or 3% of our RDA for sodium. So much less sodium than traditional chicken broth. So overall, this is going to be a super healthy meal. First thing is to slice the sausages up and dice the onion and put them in the pot and let them sweat, or just cook up for a little bit first, and then we will wilt. Then I'll add all these greens in until they're all wilted up, and then I'll add the chicken broth and the garlic, and then you just let it cook. But first things is the sausage and the onions. See, I told you that would be fast. So now I've put the sausage and onions in with a little tiny bit of olive oil or canola oil. And I'm just sweating the onions with the sausages so they get a little translucent. Over low or medium heat. Okay. These look like they are nice and warmed up and ready. I'm going to add the greens now. So I'm going to do it with one hand so you can see. So I cut open the first bag. And again, I'm making a double batch. These cook down, but it's kind of nice to have a great big cooking pot like this. And we'll do the other bag. Just barely holds 2 bags full of greens, but these greens are just super nutritious and tasty too. So I'm going to just give this a few minutes and stir it in there so that all these greens start to wilt and get a lot smaller. And then I will add that chicken broth. And at first it might not seem like there's enough chicken broth, but what happens is a lot of the moisture comes out of the greens, so you actually have plenty of broth in there. All right, I'm going to check on these greens. Well, they're still in the process of wilting. Give another stir. Probably takes about five minutes or so. Keep them on medium heat or so, medium low. And those will cook down. Okay, I'm checking on them again, and it looks like they've all wilted down pretty much. can see how it's amazing how, just like spinach, I mean, it's like all those greens and they just all shrunk down like that. So anyway, now I will add the chicken broth. And basically it's about 2 cups of chicken broth for each one of those packages. But since I'm making a double batch, I'm going to use 4 cups of this chicken broth, which is the whole package basically. So I'm going to give that a stir. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit to higher, medium high, until it comes to a boil. And once it gets to a boil, I will turn it back down to simmer. And then I will just let it simmer for about, well, probably for a couple hours at least. Just keep it on the stove on simmer. I'll check it every half hour or so. But anyway, while it's getting up to a boil, I'm going to add these 2 extra ingredients that I think go really well with the mustard greens. Both of them are optional. Some people don't like garlic or peppers. I gotta set the phone down. It took 2 hands to get that. So I'm going to take not a lot of garlic. It doesn't need a lot. Just like maybe 1 teaspoon of this. This is just chopped garlic in a jar. And then with the pepper flakes, I just have the pizza peppers, but crushed red pepper. And I would just say maybe a half a teaspoon or even a 1/4 teaspoon. Oopsie, I made a mess because I'm doing this one-handed. That's probably a little bit too much. There, like that much. So I've got the garlic in there, and I've got the pepper flakes, and that'll just bring out all that peppery flavor in the mustard greens themselves. Some people add Tabasco or hot sauce to greens. I think when you make it like this, it really doesn't need anything extra, but you know, obviously to each his own. So anyway, it's just about up to a boil. Put the lid on, and once it gets up to a boil, I will turn it down and just let it simmer for a couple hours at least. Okay, it's nice boil going on it right there. So I will turn down the heat to low or simmer and give it a quick stir and put the lid on it again and come back in 20 minutes, a half hour. Just give it a smell, give it a stir, and then, you know, just let it sit there. Keep an eye on it, but let it sit there most of the day. I'll let you know how it turns out. Okay, it's been a couple hours. I've been checking the greens, and let's take a look at them again. It should be done. Okay, so, oops, alrighty. So it's been on simmer, and that's how it kind of looks now. It's all cooked down. Ooh, lots of steam. Alrighty. Let me give it a taste here. Them's good greens. One other thing I did was make some fresh cornbread. Cornbread just goes very well with greens. I made it from the recipe right off the box of cornmeal. I recommend that over a mix, you know, cornbread mix or something. There's a lot less sodium. You just add like a teaspoon of salt just for the baking, and it just goes really well. The sweetness of the cornbread, and it's not overly sweet. It's just a little sweetness from the corn, and you know, just the taste of the greens. They work well together. It's incredibly nutritious. It's poor Southern food, probably, but if you look at the the back of the, just look at all the nutrients that are in greens, and low calories as well. Very low calories, but lots of healthy fiber, even some protein in greens. But vitamin A, 200%, vitamin C, 100%. Unusual things, people don't realize it, but it's got a lot of potassium in it too. It doesn't say it here, but I read that on the internet, so it must be true. Anyway, I love you guys, and bon appetit.